Hi, third grade friends. This is a really good book that I'm going to read you called Ricky the Rock That Couldn't Roll. And I love it so much because, like a lot of books, they have themes or morals or lessons learned. So I want you, as I'm reading, to think about what themes, what lesson do you learn when you're done listening to this story, okay? Over the lake and out past the bay was a green grassy hill where the rocks came to play. They would race to the top to take in the view, then roll their way down the way rocks love to do. There were Kip, Pip, and Chester, and Marvin the Boulder. Ignatius played too, though he was much older. And a group called the Pebbles never ever sat still, zigzagging their way up and over the hill. I'll let you take a minute and look at all of the characters. Then we've got our Pebbles. Kai was a meteorite and not from this planet, and Maya was lava, but taken for granite. Stu was the smart one, Parker the clown, and grumpy old Ebert rolled round with a frown. Gabby was sassy, Lessie had flair, Emma was giggly, and Hud had black hair. But the one trait that seemed to be shared by them all was that every rock there was shaped like a ball. And because they were round, they would easily roll through the grass, past the lake, up and over the knoll. Except for poor Ricky. Ricky was who quietly sat. You see, Rick couldn't roll because one side of him was flat. What part of this is supposed to be fun? I'm guessing he's the grumpy one. His friends didn't get it. Come roll, they would chant. So Ricky tried, but replied, I'm sorry. I can't. Poor Ricky. But the rocks were determined. They were sure they would solve Ricky's flat-sided problem and help him revolve. So Marvin the Boulder, with his impressive physique, carried Rick all the way to the hill's grassy peak. Then he pushed him downhill, yelling, keep rolling, kid! But Rick didn't roll. He just kinda slid. This feels like a bad idea. Well, the rocks weren't done. Not by a mile. Surely this next try would get Rick to smile. They stuck rubber balls all over Rick, using big gobs of glue to get him to stick. They were proud of themselves. This will work, they announced. But Ricky still couldn't roll. Now, he just sort of bounced. No good, no good, no good. So, stop and think for a minute. His friends are not giving up. They are trying to include him. They don't want him to feel left out, and they're trying all these ideas. So that is one kind of character trait or theme called determination, okay? And that's really important. To be determined is to try no matter what, which his friends are doing, and to not get frustrated and say, I quit, to keep trying until you succeed, and to know that the first time you may not succeed. Just like the first plan didn't work, it doesn't look like the second plan works. So they're gonna keep trying. Well, they pushed and they pulled, trying every which way to get Rick to roll. But by the end of the day, nothing had worked, just like Rick expected. And he ended up feeling depressed and dejected. "It's no use," Ricky sighed. "There just isn't a way, so I'll sit off to the side and watch you all play." Looks kind of like he's giving up. But luckily, he has some good friends that I hope keep trying. But his friends wouldn't quit. "We're here for you, brother, and we'll get you to roll one way or another." So they pondered and thought, each straining his brain, till they looked up and saw it was starting to rain. And that's when it hit that smart stone named Stu. "Eureka!" he shouted. "I know just what to do." He explained to them how they would get Rick to tumble. "My plan is pure genius." Stu wasn't too humble. So they carried our hero down the road about a mile to the lake, where they gathered up mud they could pile on the flat side of Rick, creating a mound that they shaped, smooth, and sculpted until it was round. Then after the rain, with the sun in the sky, they let him bake till the mud was all dry. They gathered up vines and one colorful feather that they wrapped all round Rick to keep it together. Does anyone have a towel? When the last knot was tied and the work was all done, the only step left was for Rick to have fun. They stood back and watched, feeling nervous and tense, as Rick breathed in deep. Let me hear. With increasing suspense, he moved slowly at first, testing out his new mold. And then, for the first time, what do you think's gonna happen? You ready? Ricky the Rock rolled! So Bria the ladybug, who'd been there from the start, felt a surge of pure joy swell up in her heart. She thought as she watched her friends play on the hill that there's always a way if there's also a will. And she said to herself as Ricky rolled down the slope, when you're surrounded by love, you always have hope. The end. So, I hope you liked this story as much as I did. And I want you to take a minute and think about, what is a lesson that this book taught you? So we kind of already talked about determination, right? And his friends didn't give up at all. At the beginning, Ricky was ready, he was gonna try, but then he got frustrated and gave up, which is not the best thing to do, right? But luckily, he had a lot of very good friends. So not only determination, but what about friendship, right? And then think about one other thing, and we can go back to, actually it's gonna be a story that you read tomorrow, but acceptance of others. He was different, right? He did not look the same, but that's what made him special, right? And everybody is not supposed to be the same. That's what makes us who we are, right? Okay, well, I hope you enjoyed this book, Ricky the Rock That Couldn't Roll. And I can't wait to tell you about our activities that we're gonna do with this, okay?